All plants must carry out photosynthesis to survive, but different plants have developed different mechanisms for generating the sugars they need. There are three types of photosynthesis in plants: C3, C4, and CAM. C3 plants make up about 85% of all plant species, ranging from plants like this pothos
to this pine tree.
C3 photosynthesis starts with the light-dependent reaction, which uses energy from the sun to produce ATP and NADPH. Photons from the sun excite electrons in the thylakoid membrane, which then move across the membrane to create an H+ ion gradient. NADP+ picks up an electron to become NADPH, and ATP synthase uses the H+ ion gradient to turn ADP into ATP. Next is the Calvin cycle, which uses a CO2 molecule and the ATP and NADPH from the light-dependent reactions to create a molecule of sugar that the plant can then use as a nutrient. The cycle uses carbon dioxide from the environment and fixes it to a 5-carbon chain, which can then be broken down and used to make sugars. Though this method of photosynthesis works well for most plants, there is a design flaw. Photorespiration is the process in which rubisco, the key enzyme in the Calvin cycle, pulls an O2 molecule from the atmosphere instead of a CO2 molecule. To avoid photorespiration, C4 and CAM plants have developed different methods for photosynthesis. C4 plants make up about 3% of all plants and are usually found in hotter climates. Some examples include corn and many kinds of grasses. The light-dependent reaction is carried out in the mesophyll cells, which make up the tissues of leaves, and the Calvin cycle occurs in cells called bundle sheath cells, which are located around the edges of the veins in leaves. Before the Calvin cycle can occur, a special enzyme called PEP carboxylase must fix the CO2 molecule into a 4-carbon chain. PEP carboxylase is used because it won't accidentally grab O2 from the atmosphere instead of CO2. This 4-carbon chain is then transported to the bundle sheath cells, where it breaks down into carbon dioxide that rubisco can use, eliminating the risk of photorespiration. The final type of plant is a CAM plant. CAM plants are usually cacti or other plants found in very hot, very dry climates. While C4 plants separate the light-dependent reaction and Calvin cycle physically, CAM plants separate the reactions through time. At night, when temperatures are lower and humidity is higher, CAM plants open their stomata, the pores on the surface of leaves, and absorb CO2. PEP carboxylase, just as in C4 plants, fixes CO2 into a 4-carbon chain and stores the molecule inside vacuoles overnight. During the day, the light-dependent reaction can occur, then the Calvin cycle is carried out using the stored organic acid that breaks down to CO2. These photosynthetic pathways are important because they show us how plants can adapt in unfavorable conditions. Studying these adaptations and how they evolve can help give us insight into how we can help them survive in changing environments.